Okay, so this is my theory of cognitive development bubble graph. And basically, the theory of cognitive development is that Piaget believed that children don't know what the world is really. So they create their own idea of what the world is. They use what Piaget calls schemas, which is basically like files in your brain that categorize information as you are acquiring it. He believed that people's intellect grew through adaptation. So when children assimilate to a situation, they are using the information that they already know um, to adjust to the given situation. However, when the situation that when the information that they already have doesn't apply to the situation, they accommodate to that situation by making an adjustment to what they already know. When a child has what Piaget called equilibrium, which is, let's see, where is it? Oh, I'm on this part. Oops. Sorry, Professor. So when they have equilibrium, it is easier for the child to adjust the information or the knowledge that they already have by assimilation. So I also learned about the 4 stages of development, which it's sensory motor, which happens from birth to 2 years of age. And that's the concept of object permanence. And we can actually see this with kids, with the little kids, the babies, when you play peekaboo and they are so amused by it because they really believe that you are gone, that you disappeared, but really you're behind your hands. And the kids that are already beyond that stage usually tend to move your hands because they know that you're behind there. Um, the pre-operational stage takes place between the 2 years of age and 7 years of age, which is where um, kids begin to think more logically. They can work problems out in their heads. They understand that the quality or quantity of something stays the same, even though it may look different. Um, the concrete operational stage is where, oh my goodness, I totally skipped. That was concrete operational stage, sorry, where they can actually like mentally figure things out. And I totally mix those up, sorry. So the pre-operational stage is where they can think more, like their thoughts have more meaning, and they can associate different things to a certain word or a certain object. Um, so now I should be caught up to the formal operational stage, which takes place between the age of 11 and adulthood, which allows us to think more critically. We have more complicated thoughts. We use the logic that we already know or have acquired to try out like new ideas and stuff. Um, and then his last point was the discovery learning. So he believed that a child um, was with more hands-on and um, a more interactive curriculum, they could learn better, which is true. I actually do agree with this point because at work, I tend to talk with my hands a lot, and it really I feel like when the kids are included and they're actually like doing what they need to do, they learn better, and because they're not just watching, they're actually doing. Um, so now I'm going to move on to the zone of proximal development, which is one of Vygotsky, one of his views, and it's basically how it defines how the differences between the abilities that somebody can do independently, as opposed to what they are capable or are able to achieve when they are being guided by an adult or by somebody. Um, and then, so this brings me to the point of scaffolding. So that's when, so I use this a lot at work again. I provide, which is basically um, providing assistance or reinforcing what they're learning in the classroom, and just like bringing like supportive material to help them better understand, or um, well, yeah, give them better understanding of what it is that they're learning in class. So again, like, so the more knowledgeable other would be the person doing the scaffolding, or like the teacher, a peer that is knowledgeable in the area um, of learning that they're doing. Um, so I learned about the effective scaffolding, which I didn't realize that I actually did do at work. As I said before, I tend to talk a lot with my hands, and I like to reenact things, which keeps the kids engaged while I use them as well. So they're the ones involved in their learning, and when they're involved in their learning, things tend to stick better, and they tend to just learn better when they're involved in everything. And it keeps them engaged. And a lot of the times we do we do emphasize on the things that they need to in order to get like their answers or whatever it is that they need. Um, and yeah, so that's it for that one. Um, and again, like Vygotsky believed that knowledge happened, or learning happened through social interactions, which is true. Like um, interactions would be like scaffolding and guidance by somebody who knows the material. Um, I learned about the reciprocal teaching. I That one, I do some of it. I am an assistant at a school. I work with English language developing students. So I do use some of this, but I didn't realize that it had a name. So basically, it's where the teacher enhances the student's ability to learn from a textbook. So they have them summarize, they have them ask questions, clarifying and predicting. And basically, the teacher, like, eventually, once they start getting it, they kind of like wait, and there's like they they back away, and they start letting the students do it independently. And then the collaborative learning, that's something that I actually use as well in class. And it's just something that I didn't even realize that, I was doing. So basically, it's putting students into group um, in different levels of potential. So this gives the student that's at a little bit maybe lower level, it gives them a better chance of understanding, because then it's being explained like different ways, or they can guide them to the answer. Um, so yeah, that's my concept map. Sorry, Professor. I um, Professor Posey, my thing was a little choppy, but this is the first time that I record myself, and it's kind of strange, but I'll get used to it. Thank you. See you in class.